above the streets and houses, rainbow climbing high. Everyone can see it smiling over the sky. Paint the whole world with a rainbow.
Oh, that was good, that was, yes.
Boiled egg and bread soldiers, my favourite. Oh, what about you, George? George?
Yes, Bungle?
You haven't eaten your egg.
What? No, I'm not very hungry today, thank you.
Oh, good. I'll have your egg then, yeah.
Don't be greedy, Zippy. You ought to eat your breakfast, you know, George.
No, thank you, not today, no.
Oh, you're not eating, George? Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
What
Dear.
What's wrong with Geoffrey?
Well, I don't know, do I? But did you see his face? He did look worried.
Yeah, it was all wrinkled up. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes when you're worried. Yes, Geoffrey's definitely worried.
But what about?
It must be me.
You, George?
He saw I wouldn't eat my breakfast and... Oh, perhaps I'm ill.
Oh, come on, George. Just because you're not feeling hungry, it doesn't mean to say that you're ill.
Oh, no, George. I mean, often I'm not very hungry. Well, not very often, but sometimes.
Esther, don't worry, George.
No, I can't help worrying sometimes.
Oh, hello, Geoffrey.
Oh, hello, Bungle. George, Zippy.
Geoffrey, you didn't say good morning to us today.
Did I not? Oh, I'm sorry about that, Zippy.
Oh, Geoffrey, what's that?
Well, that's cat food, Bungle.
Oh, is it for me?
For you, George. No, it's not for you.
George thinks you're worried because he wouldn't eat his breakfast.
Oh, I see. Oh, plus I ought to explain. No, it wasn't you, George. But, what happened was, you know Mrs. Smith who lives on the corner?
Yes.
Well, she's had to go away for a few days, and she couldn't take her little cat Tiddles with her. So I said we'd look after the cat until she came home.
Oh, good. Well, where is it?
Well, you see, what happened was I opened the back door forgetting all about the cat. He got out and... Oh, dear, I've lost him.
Oh, Geoffrey.
Oh, dear. Is that why you've got the cat food?
Yes, Zippy, I thought I'd put it out in the garden and perhaps he'll come back when he's hungry.
Well, come on, let's go and look for him.
Don't you worry, Geoffrey. I mean, I'll find him because I'm very good at finding things.
What you see, George, it wasn't you that Geoffrey was worried about.
No.
Well, come on, let's go and look for Tiddles.
I think I'd rather stay here, if that's all right.
It's all right then, George.
You know, Geoffrey, George is still worried about something.
Worried about something? You know, lots of people get worried about all sorts of things.
Here are two mothers with their children in the park. The children wander off to play and to look at the birds. Carrie seems to be going off too far, though. A mother's wondering where she is. She's looking rather worried. She's getting anxious. Carrie seems to be lost, and now she's anxious and worried too. Her mum goes off to look for her. Here's the park keeper. He'll look after Carrie.
Hello, little girl. Are you lost? Come on then, let's go and find Mummy.
Here's Carrie's mother running to get her. Now they're no longer worried, because they found each other.
Tiddles, Tiddles, where are you, little pussy?
Come on, Tiddles, come and get some
Tiddles.
Tiddles. Oh, hello, Jane.
Hello, Bungle. What are you doing?
It's Mrs. Smith's ginger pussy. We can't find it.
Now, Geoffrey was looking after it. It ran away, Jane.
Oh, dear. Well, I was looking for George.
George?
Yes. Oh, but it doesn't matter. I'll find him later. Oh, I'll go and get Rod and Freddie and we'll sing the song and then we'll all come and help you search for the cat.
Right, thank you, Jane.
Thank you. Don't worry. Worrying won't help.
Right, second, yeah. Tiddles, Tiddles, Tiddles.
We're here at the station, but where is the train?
We're so worried we'll all be late again.
Don't worry anymore, it's coming down the track. You sit at the front, and I'll sit at the back.
The train has stopped, the signal's red, oh, what are we to do?
I'm so worried, are you worried too?
Don't worry anymore, the signal's green again. We'll all get to work on time in our little train.
The train is slowing down again. Is there something wrong?
I'm so worried, it shouldn't take so long.
Don't worry anymore, we're not going to stop. We were climbing up a hill and now we've reached the top.
Now the train has stopped again. Did you hear the brakes? We should be there already. How long will it take? Don't worry anymore, everything is fine. The train is at the station and we've arrived on time. Woo-hoo!
It's no good, Geoffrey.
He's gone. But I don't know what else we can do, Bungle.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll come back. Oh, George, Jane was looking for you.
Oh, dear.
What's wrong, George?
Nothing, no.
Is it to do with Jane?
Well, come on, George, cheer up. Well, don't you want to talk about it? You know, perhaps we could help.
We found him.
Oh,
Tiddles, there you
He
are.
was meowing in the next door garden. I think he's hungry, Geoffrey.
Right, Jan, I'll take him through to the
Tiddles.
kitchen and give him something to eat.
yes. Geoffrey, you don't look worried anymore.
Ah, not Bungle, now we've found our little Tiddles. Come on, Tiddle, let's go through to the kitchen.
Yeah, well, George still looks worried.
Oh, what's wrong, George?
I think it's something to do with you, Jane.
With me?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, Tiddles is purring away there in the kitchen. Is something wrong?
George, he's still worried.
yes, I think it's something to do with me.
What is it, George? You know, Jane, when you were in the garden earlier, didn't you say something about you wanted to speak to George?
Yes.
Why?
Well, yesterday George told me he'd written a marvellous song especially for me, and that if I came along today, he'd teach it to me.
Well, is that what it's all about, George?
Yes.
Was that silly?
Well, it might not be any good. You might all laugh at me.
Oh, George, we wouldn't do
No,
that.
we'd never laugh at you,
You
George.
really mustn't worry, George.
No, look, I tell you what, I know a marvellous story about somebody who did a lot of worrying. So you listen carefully, George.
It's all right.
Yes, it's called The Cockerel Who Couldn't Stop Worrying. Colin the Cockerel was a born worrier.
That means he worried about everything, whether it needed worrying about or not. He worried about his 6 fat white hens who fussed and pecked around him. He worried in case they couldn't lay their 6 eggs a day for Farmer Tree. "Stop worrying," clucked Clara, the fattest hen. "We'll lay our eggs, we always do. I don't know why you worry so." She was a very sensible bird, and was quite right too. They always did. Colin the cockerel worried about his chicks as well. There were 10 of them, like little yellow round balls of fluffy wool on legs. He worried in case they got lost. But most of all, he worried about oversleeping in the morning. Very early, every morning, he had to climb on top of the hen house and crow, "Cock-a-doodle-doo," as loud as he could, to let everyone know that a new day had started. And some nights he didn't sleep at all, just in case he couldn't wake up. Then one morning, Clara pointed to his feet and squawked, "What have you been standing in? Your feet and legs are all purple."
Oh.
Immediately, Colin started to worry about his purple legs. The next day, all the feathers on his tummy had turned purple. And the day after that, his wings and back had turned purple. Only the tip of his tail and his head were the right colour now. "Oh dear," croaked Colin, "all my beautiful white feathers. Whatever is the matter with me?" "You have worried so much," said Clara, "that you've made yourself purple with it. And the more you worry, the more purple you'll get. I shouldn't be surprised if you're purple all over tomorrow." And he was.
Oh.
The next day he was purple from top to toe. Now he was frantic with worry, in case he should lose his job. When Farmer Tree saw Colin in all his purpleness, he couldn't believe his eyes. He called Mrs. Tree. But he wasn't angry with Colin being purple. Instead, he telephoned the newspapers and the people from the television. And soon there were great crowds around the hen house, all looking at Colin. "Isn't he lovely?" they said. "Isn't he unusual? And what a beautiful colour that cockerel is." "They like me being purple," gasped Colin. "I don't have to worry about it." And he stood up proudly, enjoying all the fuss and the praise. But as he stopped worrying, another strange thing happened. Gradually, his feathers turned paler and paler, until they went completely white once more. And then all the people went away, because no one wanted to look at an ordinary white cockerel. Colin didn't mind, though. He knew that from now on he would stop worrying, because it didn't help very much, did it?
So you see, George, it's silly to worry, isn't it? Especially when there's no real reason.
So why don't you sing Jane your song now?
Yeah, we'll all listen.
Yes, and I'll call Rod and Freddie. They'd love to hear it.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea. Yeah, come on, George, just sing it for us.
Yes, I will.
Come on.
Everyone, hello.
George has written a special song just for me, and he's going to sing it now.
Oh, yeah, come on, George.
All right, it's called the Pink Song. Red and pink and orange and pink, purple and pink and pink. Of all the colours, my favourite is pink, I think.
Well done. Will you teach it to me now, please,
Yes,
George?
and me.
Oh, thank you. You know, I'm not worried anymore.
Oh, no, George. Well, look, Freddie and I'll play it on our guitars, then we can all sing it.
Oh, right, listen, we better say goodbye first, haven't we?
Oh, yes.
It's time to go time, I'm afraid. But we've been worrying today, haven't we? George has been worried, I've been worrying about things. Hope you've not been worrying. Well, take care, see you soon, and we'll hope to see you all happy and smiling. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye. Red and pink and orange and pink, purple and pink and pink. Of all the colours, my favourite is pink, I think. Red and pink
And orange and pink.
Purple and pink and pink.